Going forward, I think we need to have that transformative move, Tom. We cannot go back to the modus operandi pre-October 7, where everybody's paying lip service to the longer solution and nobody's doing anything that is realistic, that is impactful to stop all the measures that are undermining the two-state solution and therefore denying the peoples of the region, Israelis, Palestinians, all of us, the right to live in peace and security. We in the Arab world have been consistent. You know better than anybody else the Arab Initiative of 2002, which offers full peace and acceptance and security guarantees to Israel in return for ending the occupation and all of us move on with our lives. You know that Israel has not looked at that, and now we're reiterating where we were. We as Arab countries, we have a plan. We know what we want. We want peace on the basis of the two-state solution. We have a plan on how to get there. I think what's missing is what Israel needs to do and what the international community needs to do. What Israel needs to do is to come out clear and say that it commits to that just and lasting peace, and to go over fallacies, get over fallacies that it can parachute over the Palestinian issue to have regional peace. The challenge that we have is that we don't have a partner in Israel now. You have the most radical government in the history of Israel, run by a prime minister who's driven by an ideology that does not believe in the two-state solution. And let's remember, this is not something new. Remember, after Rabin signed the Oslo talks, the current prime minister of Israel was out there with demonstrators accusing the late Rabin of betraying Zionism, which to his constituents is betraying Israel. So that is the thing that we have. So Israel needs to agree to a path towards peace, agree to an endgame, a solution. And we all in the international community say that the two-state solution is the only path forward. Israel is saying no. It will not agree to that. Netanyahu has said publicly. And that brings me to the international community, which if all of the international community agrees that the only way to ensure peace, security for Palestinians, Israelis is the two-state solution, then what are we going to do about the party that blocks the realization of that solution, which, to be honest, is the Israeli government at this point? Do we allow Netanyahu to do the future of the region to more conflict and war and destruction, or do we do what it takes to force peace, recognize a Palestinian state, and work with us? And we're more than willing on a plan that will ensure the fulfillment of Palestinian rights and will also ensure the security for Israel. This is what's lacking. We hear a lot of political pronouncements in support of the two-state solution, but we see no real action that would stop settlements, for instance, which is death to the two-state solution. Number of settlers in 1993 when Oslo was signed was 200,000. Now it's 700,000. Last year saw the largest amount of land grabs and settlements. So that we need to face reality, and we need to accept that the status quo is untenable, that we cannot go to the modus operandi pre-October 7. And if we want to ensure a future of peace for the region, we have to make that big move out of the space of radicalism and violence, create our own space of peace, and work in accordance with a plan. And you will find all of us in the region ready to do the heavy lifting. But we need the world to face what will the world do if Netanyahu continues to block that prospect for peace. What will we do if Netanyahu continues to take us towards the region, towards regional war? And will he face consequences? And I just want to close with one sentence, if I may. Netanyahu says he wants to achieve complete victory for Israel. Reality is, strategically, he achieved nothing but complete defeat for Israel. Because if you look at what's happening in the world, look where Israel's standing is, look where all of us are, he is losing, and he is making Israel a pariah. And how is that good for the future of the Israelis and the Palestinians and the whole region?
Quick follow-up, which is there are actually two parties who are dead set against the Palestinian state. One is called Hamas, and the other is called this Israeli government. What should happen with Hamas? What do we do with Hamas?
Look, again, I think what we're facing is too dangerous for us to mince our words. So we have to be very, very unequivocal about it. Hamas did not create the conflict. The conflict created Hamas. So basically, as I said before, Hamas is an idea. You're not going to bomb it out of existence, but you can offer an alternative. Offer peace, offer Palestinians the promise of a normal life as the rest of the world, sovereignty, independence, and then that will tell Hamas, or what Hamas advocates is no longer relevant, it's no longer needed. And even on the hostages, and let me just be unequivocal, we all support the release of hostages, we all support the ongoing discussions and negotiations to get the hostages out. But the only time hostages were released was when there was a truce. So give an alternative, give Palestinian people hope, give them a future, and the raison d'etre for what Hamas advocates would no longer be there. And that applies to other elements in the region as well. So, and I have to bring Rafah because the narrative coming out from Israel now is that if you release the hostages, we will not attack Rafah. I think that's a very immoral argument that should not be made, because what that translates into is that I will go ahead and kill another 10,000 Palestinians until I get the hostages. And we want the hostages out, but turn the table, say, put a ceasefire on the table. And then all of us will have the argument to say to Hamas that, the ceasefire is there. If we don't release the hostages, there'll be more war and more Palestinians will be killed. So I think we just need to go back to the bottom line, to the fundamental, quintessential question is, what does Netanyahu want? And it's clear from everything we've seen that Netanyahu doesn't want peace, and that is dragging all of us into the mud, including the US, including all moderate forces in the region.
Thank you.